fuck this.
Oh, hello. I'm Guy Branum, and this is Bar Talk at JFL. I'm going to talk to people in a bar. Marc Maron, if you were not a stand-up comedian, what would you be doing professionally?
I'd probably figure out some way to be in academia. Or maybe a grill cook.
I just see different kinds of shouting going on in your life.
The grill cook's great for that.
Yeah.
Not so much academia. I don't think you can do the shouting, but if you're a cook in a cook situation, oh, you can yell, you can break eggs.
Oh.
When I was working the grill once, I had like a whole bunch, we used to make these giant pancakes.
Yeah.
And the grill wasn't buttered enough, so they were all sticking, and it was in the middle of a breakfast rush. And I just remember taking the spatula and just throwing them up against the wall. And being like, fuck this. And they just watch you. And then I went out and stood out back. There's no better cigarette than that you have in the middle of a breakfast rush that you just snapped during, and you left the restaurant to stand out back in your greasy apron and just smoke, knowing that the entire operation is falling apart inside. That's a good cigarette.
That's a beautiful moment.
Thank you. Poetry.
Do you feel like comedy is more important now because of the political situation we're in? Or do you feel like that's something people just always say regardless of what the situation is?
No, I think there are people in positions on television who are providing a very real amount of pushback and resistance to what's happening culturally in the States. So I do think it has an important role. I don't know if stand-ups necessarily, I mean, if you want to fight that fight, which I do a bit, you know, I think it's nice. It provides relief to like-minded people. But I think people like Colbert and, you know, maybe Trevor, though I don't watch his show much, but people who have a big platform that are actively pushing back, I think it means something. So a lot of people that know there's something very wrong going on don't feel isolated and defeated.
Do you think it's like a comedian's job to give people a place of sort of like rest and a break from the hard things in their life, or do you think it's a comedian's job to like push them, or does that vary comedian to comedian?
Well, I mean, what do you mean the hard things in their life? Are you talking about politics, or just that, you know, they're sick, or like life is difficult?
Either of those.
Well, I think that, like, you know, comedy should frame things in a way that gives people a certain amount of relief, a certain amount of identification, a certain amount of not feeling alone, a certain amount of relief. Yeah, and I do think that it's not our job just to be another distraction. I think you should be provocative on some level. If it's just being funny, fine. If it's deeper than that, fine. But I don't think it's our job to kind of make people look away.
When I get off stage, I always hope to have hurt someone. Just one person in that audience.
I'm sure you do. I don't know if I think that. I've spent a long time, you know, kind of pushing back on audiences and having a weird dynamic, but I don't know. I don't seek to hurt people, but in those moments, you know, where something gets a little out of hand and you got to crowd manage, someone's going to take a hit.
Someone's going to take a hit, you guys.
Yeah.
That's Marc Maron's philosophy. That's it. That's Bar Talk at JFL. It's over now. You can return to the other parts of the internet. Go watch porn. Go argue about politics, buy some cryptocurrency, whatever you want to do.